In this video, we'll be taking a look at Ephemere by In-Ear Display, a drum synthesizer that uses a powerful FM synthesis engine to generate percussive sounds. We'll be taking a look at how we can design and shape sounds using Ephemere. We'll look at the advanced randomization system that the plugin has to offer, as well as diving around some of the sound and kit presets. So I've got this instance of Ephemere loaded up here. I'm actually using a number of MIDI notes to trigger all the sounds, and quite handily Ephemere, the 12 sound engines, will map chromatically to your keyboard right up the scale, so it doesn't matter how big or small your key bed, you'll still be able to trigger all the sounds. They map to every single octave on the keyboard. So I've programmed this drum beat here. I've loaded in the Technoid kit, and let's take a look at designing some of these sounds and using the FM synthesis engine. I've got this bass drum. Let's take a look at the oscillator. We've got the carrier and modulator waveform. So this will be directly modulating this carrier waveform to create the FM tone. The FM control setting the amount of frequency modulation occurring. Meaning just using these three controls, we can dial up a variety of different sounds. The feed knob adjusts the level of the oscillator output that is sent back to the carrier oscillator, so we can use this to further shape the sounds. Pushing higher values, especially on the FM control, we're going to get more metallic FM-like tones. More moderate settings, we get more functional bass drum sounds. We have two envelopes for each sound engine on Ephemere. The amplitude envelope with just attack and release, and then attack snap and release snap, which adjust the curves of the attack and release. Turn clockwise for snappier curves. Turn counterclockwise for a linear ramp. The pitch envelope just features a release control with the snap functioning the same way, but we also get a depth which controls the amount of pitch modulation. We also get a loop button on the envelope, which will force the envelope to automatically be re-triggered, which is great for creating a variety of LFO style effects. As you can hear, we can create much more than just percussive tones using Ephemere. It's equally adept creating industrial bass and synth tones. Let's engage the multi-output routing on Ephemere now. Simply switching this button to multi and making sure that Ephemere is loaded as a multi-output instrument. We can now add in our external channels. I have a reverb loaded onto my bass drum. We can load any sound engine into any one of these slots now. So on this slot here, let's load another bass drum. We get a variety of different kits with Ephemere. We also get a large selection of individual sound engine presets. So let's load a kick drum in here. We can either click the drop down to select our sound engine presets or scroll through. Now let's take a look at the advanced randomization that Ephemere has to offer. We have a number of different ways that we can randomize the plugin. We can use this control top right to randomize the selected sound engine. We can set the amount of randomization applied here using this control. We can also randomize the sound preset selected, which will randomly select one of the different sound engine presets and load it into the selected slot. We also have a number of other randomization controls down here. The trigger random will randomize the trigger probability, which will randomize all the trigger probabilities for each sound engine. The trigger probability controls whether the sound will be triggered at all, so dialed all the way to the right. The sound will trigger each and every time. Turning this control down reduces the likelihood of the sound being triggered, which can be used for a very dynamic response. You can also randomize all of the controls on every single sound engine, or randomize through all the presets. Furthermore, we also get dials to set the amount of randomization applied to the parameters. We can set either negative values or positive, which will control the amount of randomization applied to each one of these parameters. I've loaded a second instance of Ephemere now. I've loaded the digits kit and programmed quite a simple loop. I still have my Technoid kit here. I thought it might be quite interesting to load the melodic kit in here, which loads a series of melodic sounds, showcasing Ephemere's versatility. We also have a drive for adding some bite to sounds to dial in a little bit of aggression when needed. And we also have a random velocity value. So if we went back to this first instance, this sound here, if we wanted a bit more of a dynamic response from that sound, we could push up the random velocity value, which will trigger random velocities for that sound. Be sure to check out Ephemere by In-Ear Display, which is available now at adsrsounds.com.